Okay. So number 2. Sorry, I'm tripping. Number 3. All right. I've got all 4 of my x values here, or my inputs. I've got my equation y is equal to 1/2 x. All right. What do I notice is missing on my equation?
The B.
The b. So when I don't have a b value, what do I know b is equal to?
0.
0. What's my slope for this line? What's the number in front of x? 1/2. So that's my slope. Right? This is what we talked about. We did the worksheet and the Alex in the same day. That stuff was super, super easy. M comes in front of the x. My plus b comes after. Right? If there's nothing there, I know that b is 0. Okay, this is going to be even more important today. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to set this up. Y is equal to 1/2 times x. What's the first number I'm going to plug in here? -4. It's the first x value on my table. So I'm going to plug that in. What's half of 4? 2. And a positive times a negative gives me a negative. Right? You could also think of it like 4 divided by 2. Right? If you're multiplying something by 1/2, it's the same as dividing by 2. What am I going to plug in next? -2. Good. What's half of 2? 1. And what's a positive times a negative again? A negative. So there's my second output, -1. All right, yesterday we talked about we're putting the token in. The game is doing its thing. We're getting the tickets out. So what we're getting here in black is the tickets. My next one, what am I going to plug in now? 0. Well, what's half of 0? Just 0. And finally, I'm going to plug in 2. And what's half of a positive 2? Positive 1. All right. So I got all my outputs nice and easy. Time to plot them and get my line. Okay. So my first point here, -4, -2. I'm going to start in the middle. I go to -4 on the x, -2 on the y, and then I make my dot. Right? We feeling comfortable plotting points a little bit? No?
I am.
Good.
I know I am.
My next point, -2, -1. I start in the center. I go to -2 on the x, -1 on the y, and make a dot. Where am I going to make my third dot? It's got a specific name.
The origin.
The origin. That's right. 0, 0 is my origin, dead center in the graph. Right? And what's my third point? 2, 1. So I'm going to go over to +2, up to +1. Boom. And I see all my points in a nice straight line. What does this line go through again? What did we say? The origin. So what type of relationship do we have here?
Not proportional? No, proportional.
Proportional. It's a straight line that goes through the
Well,
origin.
we don't need a right proportion.
You don't have to, but it's good to review for our test. If you just write proportion. We don't have a
Oh,
test.
no. Next tomorrow.
Next tomorrow.
Yep, next tomorrow.
Sure. Any questions on number
Tomorrow's
3?
Friday, and then the next Friday.
Yeah. Anybody's graph look like this in number 3? Thumbs up?
Me,
Yeah?
me.
Okay, good. In the back. Ladies in the middle. Over here on the side. Good. Zach?
How do you get on?
Perfect.
Snowball?
We'll talk about it later.
Dang it.
Number 4. What's my M here in number 4? Just by looking right away, what's my
M
M?
is -2.
Okay. And what's my B?
Plus or 4.
Positive 4, right? With what we learned today, that's all we need to know to graph our line, which makes it a lot easier. But we're going to evaluate this. Y is equal to -2 times something plus 4.
Yeah.
Y is equal to -2 times something plus 4, 4 times. All right, what am I going to plug in first here? 0, right? Because it's right there on the x row, I guess we can call it. What's -2 times 0? 0. And what's 0 plus 4? 4. What am I going to plug in next? 1. That's right. Okay, what's -2 times 1?
3.
2.
Ooh, -2 times 1
Oh!
is -2, right? And then what's -2 plus 4?
-6.
Mmm,
Positive 6.
+2.
+2, right? Positive 2.
Wait, what?
But I thought
Negative 2 plus 4. So on the number line, if you're at negative 2, you add 4 spaces to the right, you land at positive 2, right? Negative 2 minus 4 would be negative 6. Okay?
no taxation.
We're going to plug in a 2 next, right? What's negative 2 times 2?
Hold on.
Negative 2 times 2.
Oh,
What's 2 times 2?
4.
4. So this would be negative 4. Now what's negative 4 plus 4?
0.
0. Good. Not 8, not negative 8. Negative 4 and positive 4 cancel out, and we get 0. All right? Finally, we'll plug in 3. What's negative 2 times 3?
Negative 6.
Negative 6. Good. What's negative 6 plus 4?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. Good.
This is definitely not a proportional relationship.
This is not proportional. You're absolutely right. Let's see how it looks. If I'm going to plot these points, first 0, 4, I'm going to start at the center. How many spaces to the left to the right am I going to go? 0. And I'm just going to go 4 spaces in what direction?
Up.
Up, because it's positive. So that's my y-intercept. That's the point on that yellow line. And that's exactly what we said my B was. My y-intercept is 4. I can see that I'm intercepting the y-axis at 4, right?
Yes.
Then we got 1, 2, over 1, up 2. 2, 0. We go over to 2, but we go up or down 0, so that stays right there on the x-axis. And then 3, negative 2, over 3, down 2. And again, we should see 4 points in a nice straight line, all lined up perfectly. Just like that. Now, what do we notice about this line? Is this line going uphill or downhill from left to right?
Downhill.
It's going downhill. So that means my slope should be what?
Negative.
Negative. Was my slope negative?
Yes.
Yeah. Right? We know it's negative 2
Because it says negative 2.
because it says negative 2 right here in front of my x. All right? So everything we've been learning is connected, right? And it's just going to get more connected when we talk about today.